Welcome to Optimal Living Starts Here. I am Versandra Kennebrew, your host, and in this episode, we are continuing our empowering veterans and their family members to live healthy, happy lives. But today, we're doing something a little bit different. In fact, I would like to just share with you a little story about once upon a time when I was really going through a very depressed period in my life. In fact, I was diagnosed at the time with PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. However, I've learned after that time that what it really was PTSD. It was basically two conditions that were manifesting deep depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. When I was thinking of driving down the highway and just running my car off the bridge to end my life, I was in one of the darkest periods of my entire life. So when people ask me, why do I support veterans and their families? And especially if I'm not a veteran myself, I think back to that time because that period led me to a homeless shelter in Detroit, Michigan, where I had to really gather myself again. I think about that time as a period when I was allowed to rest. I don't remember a time before that when I could literally not have to be doing 10,000 things every day. I raised two brothers, and that began at 23 years old officially. But long before that, I was raising one of those brothers. My mom was mentally ill, so there was just constant, challenges around that, growing up. People, they had all kinds of negative things to say. You talk about my mama, I got to fight you. And so anger issues, so much stuff was going on inside of me. As I came out of that homeless experience and I began to do some personal development, really understanding that I needed to take control of my own life. I needed to discover who I was and that I was not my mother. I wrote a book about it, so if you're ever interested in hearing more about my story, feel free to check out Amazon.com and pick up your copy of Thank God for the Shelter, Memoirs of a Homeless Healer. So that's how I got into this because I met veterans there. I got to understand more about what was going on with my father as a veteran. I got to understand more about my uncle and my cousins, so many people in my family who were veterans and many who experienced PTSD. I learned that you didn't have to be a veteran to experience such a terrible, dark illness. And so in the process, I began to learn who I was, what I was here for, my purpose, and I read lots and lots and lots of books. You see, I was the first person in my family in my immediate family, to go to college. No, to graduate from high school, let alone talk about go to college. So that was a big deal for me. So reading was something that I needed just to be able to interact with people. I had a job. I actually had a pretty darn good job. I had a job where I was a district sales manager running 22 stores in 3 states, but that didn't mean that I was very smart. It just means that I was a happy person, and beyond what I had gone through in life, I still found joy. Therefore, service was what I could offer to anybody with a smile. That's my superpower, at least one of them. I later learned that I have some other ones. And so today I'm going to share with you one of the top things that I embraced during that transitional period that literally transformed my life. It helped me to purchase my first condo on the Detroit River. That was a dream of mine when I was homeless in the shelter. I dreamed that I could live on the river because the water brought me peace. It made me feel good and refreshed. It gave me joy. And just the movement and watching the water and the different changes of seasons and walking out on the river walk and engaging with people who were enjoying nature, which meant that most of them were pretty darn happy too. Most people that like to get out in nature tend to be on the happier side. So during that process, I began a practice. And that practice is demonstrated in my book, but it's also demonstrated in a new tool that I just produced. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that tool. It's called journaling. You probably heard the term before. Many people journal even as children, just as a way of getting their thoughts out of their mind and being able to write about, things that they want to see or want to do and those type of things, how they felt, different disappointing times in their lives, and they didn't want to feel so low for a long period of time, so they wrote it, either typed it, put it on paper, got it out of their minds. So journaling became a serious process for me. But more than just journaling, there was this process of manifestation. I read this book called The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. You may have heard about it. I actually went to the workshop and the trainings multiple times because I decided after becoming homeless, losing everything and having to start all over again, that I wanted to be a millionaire. I can tell you right now that it's not as easy as people think that it is. And even though this is something that I decided and I put on the calendar, maybe I would say 15 years ago, I have not accomplished that goal yet. But let me tell you what I have accomplished. I've been able to purchase 2 homes. I provided a home for teen girls who aged out of foster care. I was able to engage in my community and have them support me in those efforts. I purchased my first condo on the river. I paid cash for it. Yes, I did. And so many other things have transpired. I relocated from Detroit, Michigan, and I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where I started anew. With little or nothing, I started a new business. I began to not only provide therapeutic massage, but I was able to become a certified integrative nutrition health coach. And that really gave me the tools necessary because I had studied in college. I got my certification as a self-improvement teacher a few years before that, but the coaching really brought it home for me. I learned that I could support people with weight management, with their self-esteem, with finding the perfect career for them, not just get a job, but find the perfect career for them. I learned that I had the special ability to strategize and help people to put on paper what they thought of in their mind and actually create a step-by-step strategy to success. I learned so much during this period in my life, and it's all simply because I decided I wanted more. What I had at that moment, education, skills, could not take me to that more. I needed to become a different person. Not at my core, because the person who I am at my core, my grandmother raised me into that person. So I'm a loving, caring, giving, that type of person. So that's who I am. But who I needed to become was a person who could take my thoughts and put it into a strategic plan, follow it to the end, and get it done, whatever it was that I was looking to do. So how did I do that? Besides reading, besides going to workshops and training, I even enrolled in programs. I actually enrolled, and you might have heard about this in a previous episode, I enrolled in AmeriCorps Vista and served for an entire year, volunteer in service to America with just a small little stipend, just enough to get gas and food. But I needed to do that to get a special set of skills that I knew I would use long after that experience. So marketing and community engagement became something that I'm an expert at. But then I want to take you back to the writing again, because it turned into 5 books that I've written since that time. But today, the tool that I'm mentioning in the beginning is about how you can transform your life, how you can manifest the desires of your heart through a process of writing. That's what journaling is. But manifestation journaling is a little bit different, because you have to speak those things that be not as though they were. I'm sure you've heard that scripture before. It's real. The manifestation process, as it was stated in that Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, is thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. Thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. So, what thoughts are you having today? What feelings are you experiencing today? What actions are you taking today? Manifestation journaling. It's an action. It's an action that takes the thoughts that are in your mind and it puts it on paper. Now, those thoughts will automatically bring about feelings, because when you think about something that you desire strongly in your heart, you're gonna feel it. When you think about how you want to wake up every single day, the things you want to see, hear, feel, taste, touch, when you think of that intently, it brings about feelings. And so as you write those thoughts, those feelings, you begin to create. That's who we are. We are creators. And to be, I guess, exact about it, we are co-creators. Co-creators with the divine. And so we have these special abilities that allow us to take a situation and turn it around through our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. It seems like it's magic, I know. You're probably saying, is this girl crazy? Is she still out of her mind? Maybe she's depressed or something. No depression here. But I have practiced this over and over again, and I have manifested amazing things. So this is why I have created a new journal, a new manifestation journal. And so this journal allows you to take the written prompts that I have created, and these are writing prompts, and they continue over on the back side of this card. I can't show you the journal right now because they're in transit here. You get to learn about it before I actually have them in my hand. But I've received at least the draft of it, and it looks amazing. Very, very similar to what you're seeing here. But this journal is going to guide you through the process of manifesting the desires of your heart. So first of all, today, what I want to do is demonstrate what journaling about one of the writing prompts might look like, okay? So the first writing prompt says, my future looks bright. I see. Okay, that's all it says is I see, dot, dot, dot. It's up to you to complete that thought. And as you complete the thought, you're not going to just say one thing you see. I see blue skies. Ah, you're not done yet. In fact, I'm hoping that you will take at least 20 to 30 minutes contemplating that particular writing prompt. I'm asking in the journal instructions that you take 21 days of constantly or consistently writing using the 21 writing prompts that I've provided for you. So each day you sit down for about 30 minutes writing your thoughts about that prompt. So right now we're going to take a moment and just kind of play around with that one prompt. My future looks bright. I see myself working very close to the river or at least a body of water, because I've learned that being close to water just really stimulates me. It makes me feel amazing. But I also see that the water is beautiful. It's got flowing rapids or bubbling rapids or turquoise color, one or the other would do. It has very interesting places around it that allows me to express myself as I live close to home and work in a similar area. I don't want to work from home anymore because I've done that before. I want my home to be my safe haven. So my home is definitely separate from my workplace, but where I work is not too far. I could actually walk there. You know what else I see? I see people who love me every single day, spending time with me. We're conversing with one another. We're engaging in activities, maybe out there on the water. We're doing some canoeing or zip lining or whitewater rafting, something of that sort. But we're enjoying ourselves, being physical, because physical fitness helps me to live a healthy, happy life. I see opportunities where I can take my blanket and throw it out there on the grass and lie in it and look at the sky and look at the birds flying by and kind of notice which ones I see. I see myself enjoying the aromas. Oh my God, I love things that smell good. So I am enjoying the aroma of the flowers that are close by, because I see the colors and they're bright and vibrant, but I also smell the fragrances. You know what else I see? I see my bank account flowing or even overflowing. I see more money than I've ever seen in my bank account in my entire life. And it is simply the fruit of my labor. I see that people that have known me for years are celebrating me. They're excited about what I've been able to accomplish. They are excited about the gifts that I share with them, because I told you I was a giver. I love to give gifts. So those close people around me are enjoying the gifts that I share with them, because it's just my nature to do so. I see myself providing or hosting parties that are, spiritual and healing in nature. I like spa parties and things like that that allow people to relax and unwind. Do things like, eat very good, rich, healthy food that is just tantalizing to the taste buds. The music that's playing is making the people that are visiting me vibe and just really enjoying the flow. I see my meditation time and even my meditation room. I see it and it is so peaceful. It has flowers and plants. I brought the outdoors in, because it's a good thing to surround yourself in nature and get the feelings that nature has to offer and the benefits, because nature, and especially plants, they give off oxygen, and then that oxygen that they give off to me is beneficial. I give them a little carbon dioxide that they can benefit from. I even talk to them a little bit because my plants love me to speak to them. I see myself dancing and singing because I'm so joyful. I finally decided and received my heart's desire. Yes, my future looks bright. It's amazing that I wrote this months ago, but now it is manifested and it's amazing. So that's one example of how you would write the desires of your heart in the form of a story that invites you to see, feel, taste, and explore, even through touch, as you write. You are literally taking a pen and writing your new story. The subtitle of this journal is Write, Speak, Visualize Your New Reality. That's deep right there. Your new reality. I'm sure you know already, the world is never going to be the same as it was 5 years ago. So you might as well write your story the way you want to see it. And then watch the universe, God, the Most High, orchestrate of the most amazing things so that you can see and experience the thoughts that were in your mind. This is real stuff, you guys. And so I wanted to take a moment today and just share with you that this new journal is going to be very transformative. But not only do you have the offer of a journal to support you in your own time as you write, speak, and visualize your new reality, I'm also offering a workshop where you can work with me throughout the 21 days. Yes, 21 days as your coach. I will assist you in the writing process, because what I'm aware of is that it's not easy for some people to dream. It's not easy for some people to visualize something that they have no idea how it can possibly happen. And the reason why, many reasons, but I can tell you that some people have been shut down. Every time they thought of a grand idea or they thought to do something special or go to an amazing place, they had people around them that said, "You can't do that. That's not possible." They've told me that too. They told me that more times than I can even really count, but I don't care what they say. Who are they anyway? It's all about my life. So through this process, I've written that I wanted to go on a world tour. It was really cool. I'm like, I'm going to go to 30 cities. I'm going to travel and I'm going to do book signings and I'm going to meet amazing people. All these things I had in mind. I wrote about it. I drew up a plan, everything. Guess what? I only got to 10. But guess what? 10 is better than 0. If I had not taken that idea, wrote it down, began to work this process, then I wouldn't have went to those 10 cities. I wouldn't have ended up on a megabus. I did a megabus tour, y'all. In fact, I was like, listen, how can I make it to these destinations for the least cost possible? And I began to find different ideas. I was going to get oh my God, what was it called? Anyway, RVs. I was going to get an RV and spend a whole lot of money traveling. And then as I looked at the income, the revenue coming in, because everything has a cost, as I looked at the income coming in as opposed to the expenses going out, I recognized this is a profit generating activity. So I don't want to go and spend $40,000, $50,000 on a small RV and then have to gas it up and all those other things. I would use all of my profits just through travel. So that was not the objective for me. So I had to come up with another plan, and the megabus was perfect because you ride one way and your return trip was $1. At least at that time. It might have changed some. I don't know. I haven't been on the megabus recently. But that's what I ended up doing. Ingenuity came through as a result of me writing my vision and making it plain. Ingenuity showed me that I could find an ambassador in whatever city that I was going to, and that ambassador would host me so I wouldn't have to pay for a hotel. So I began seeking out ambassadors. I found ambassadors all over the place who invited me to come in. They gave me a clean room and everything in their home. They took me to my destination for the book signings and the workshops that I was doing. I was able to do things like teach the art of touch out on Miami Beach. And oh my God, I just had an amazing time. All because I dared to write the vision and make it plain. So your new manifestation journal will help you with writing your vision. And with me as your coach, you will begin to ignite your imagination, which, by the way, is the title of your journal. Ignite your imagination. Discover the art of reinventing you. So finally, as I prepare to close today, I would like to share with you one of my absolutely most favorite quotes. Besides, now I got to tell you the first one. The first one is, everyone can be great. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. That's my favorite quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I love that quote. It really, really supports me as I serve, again, as a Toastmaster. I keep talking about it, but I love service, and service as a person that mentors and coaches people with public speaking and leadership. Hey, it's just right up my alley. I love it. But my second favorite quote is the one that inspired this journal. And that quote is, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. The writer of that quote is Albert Einstein, or was Albert Einstein. You probably know all about him, genius. But he recognized the importance of using your imagination. Everything you see with your eyes, everything around you came from someone's imagination. They thought, oh, I need to have a chair. I needed to have a high back so it would support me as I sit up tall. I needed to have arms here that move and adjust to my size. I needed to swivel. And so through that person's imagination, this chair was created. And many other chairs, because we got chairs that do everything from leaning back to reclining to just standing on four legs. It's so many different versions of that vision, but all because people got tired of standing and walking, so they wanted a chair to sit in. It was about serving a purpose, solving a problem. And so today I invite you to pre-order your copy of Ignite Your Imagination. It's a manifestation journal that can support you in realizing your dreams. So it has been a pleasure sharing my story with you, and I so look forward to hearing and reading your stories. And whether you choose to work with me for the 21 days or just get your own copy of the Manifestation Journal and just kind of play around with it yourself at home, either way, it's all good. But you will support veterans and their families because we're using proceeds from this journal to support our first annual Veterans Family Retreat happening at Callaway Gardens, September 18th. So just go right on over to theoptimalplan.com as soon as you're done watching this video. Get your ticket now. And if you don't want to come to Pine Mountain to enjoy a day in nature, workshops, we have some of the individuals that you've seen throughout this series. They will be there live teaching classes and workshops. So it's going to be an amazing time experiencing life in nature. But beyond that, if you don't feel that that's your cup of tea and you want to come out, you can even make a contribution. Our nonprofit partner is Georgia Vet Fest. You can visit their website, vet_fest.org, and learn more about how they are empowering veterans and their families in the Atlanta area. I was just there with them this past weekend for Heroes United. There were several nonprofit organizations and myself. I actually got in a dance off with a gentleman with the big bobblehead. We were dancing in the rain and carrying on, just enjoying ourselves. You know, freedom is what came from me learning to write the reality that I choose. No more bondage for me. No more depression and anxiety, because that all comes from trying to live in a way that's pleasing to someone else or something else and not really focusing on what you need and what you desire. And so I learned that there's a balance in service. Service is a wonderful thing, but you gotta serve yourself. And so journal writing is also personal development. You're practicing the process of writing. You're practicing the process of storytelling. You're practicing the process of bringing to life something that was simply a thought in your mind. It's been a wonderful session today, and I look forward to our next opportunity to empower veterans to live healthy, happy lives. Optimal living does start here. Peace and love.